completely. If you've seen anything in the media lately, you know that the topic of gun control comes up in every conversation on the news, and it's unfortunately headlines because of all of the killings and mass shootings. So this card just says gun control, realistically, go.
That's easy. I don't want to take, and this is one of the, honestly, this is one of the toughest issues for anybody in the area that's running. I don't believe in taking guns away from anybody. That doesn't make everybody happy to hear, but at the end of the day, I'm somebody who doesn't believe in creating new crime and creating new criminals. What we have to do, and Mike Stewart, legislator out of Nashville, introduced. You probably saw it on the news. He brought an AR-15 into committee to show how easy it was. He videoed himself buying it off the internet the night before. There was no background check, no ID, nothing. It was cash. There you go. And we have to expand our background checks. We've got to, a waiting period needs to happen. Be it 24 to 72 hours. It doesn't have to be a long one. If you are in the position where you need a gun immediately, you don't need a gun, you need law enforcement. You need the cops. If you feel that you need to protect yourself immediately, you have resources, you have avenues to go down. So I would like to see a waiting period introduced, and I think we need to close the internet and gun show loophole. I'm not for limiting what kind of gun you can have, and honestly, I'm not a gun guy, but I realize that it's very important to a lot of people. So let's just have some common sense gun laws. We don't have to get into a debate over, you can't touch my guns, you can't do it. Just common sense, that's all we need. And I think what we'll see is things going a lot smoother, and I think you'll see a lot of the terrible things that we've seen lately. Hopefully we would see less of them. It can't get a lot worse. So.
Okay, we have two, the next two questions are education questions, and I'll put those together, but one is from Carolyn and one is from Jessica. Carolyn asked, what's your stand on vouchers? And Jessica would like to know what would be a better replacement for Common Core.
I'm going to work backwards. Common Core, I have mixed feelings on. I think, like I said earlier, that's a conversation that needs to be had, not with legislators, but with teachers. That's one of those where we need to go, as lawmakers, we need to go to the people who it's going to affect. We need to be talking to the county school boards, the city school boards, the teachers associations. We need to be in there and say, what are y'all seeing? What do you need? I think a more common sense approach to that's a replacement for Common Core. As far as vouchers go, I am vehemently anti-voucher. Anytime we're taking public funds to give to private schools, I'm against. I don't have a thing against private schools whatsoever. I attended a private school through the end of elementary and most of middle. And it was fantastic. I learned a ton. It was a wonderful atmosphere. I was very blessed that I was able to do that. But it didn't cost the taxpayer a single dime for me to get to experience that, and nor should it have. So I'm very much anti-voucher. So that's I don't even have to waffle on that. That's easy.
I'm not really sure, so I'm going to add a little bit to it, but it says, where do you see marriage and religion? And I'm going to ask that in the context, as your role as a legislator, what do you think your role is as a government spokesperson, legislator involved in the decisions being made about marriage based on religion?
Okay. I personally, I'm a Christian. I was raised that way. I proudly believe that way. Not everybody does, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. When it comes to creating laws, I don't believe religion and not just speaking for myself, but for everybody, religion should not supersede what's best for the people that you're serving. That's plain and simple. We all have an internal compass that guides us. Some of that's driven by religion, some of that's driven from experience. When we put how we feel over the needs and the wants of the people that we're supposed to be serving, and I say we as if I've already been elected, but when we do that, we're doing a terrible, terrible disservice to those people. I don't think my religion's better than anyone else's. It's what I believe. I believe it for my own reasons. I was raised that way. End of story. Same with someone who believes differently than I do. So I think that, frankly, I feel the way I feel about gay marriage, which I'm very much for marriage equality, but my religion doesn't have anything to do with it. At the end of the day, my religion taught me to love and accept those, whether they're like me or not. So I hate to see, honestly, what bothers me more, and I'm getting off on a tangent here, what bothers me more is the hateful rhetoric that I see in the name of the religion that I believe in towards the LGBT community. That bothers me a lot more than whoever anybody's married.
Thank you. The next question comes from Carolyn, and Carolyn asks, what policies and legislation will you sponsor or co-sponsor to benefit District 48? Our present House representative has been MIA outside rural interest.
Well, one thing that's very specific to the 48th district is that MTSU sits in it. Where I have issue with what Representative Terry has done and not done is that his campus involvement has been extremely minimal. I'm a non-traditional college student. My wife, who's over here, my wife has graduated but is going back to pursue nursing. She wants to be a nurse, which is wonderful. By the time we both get done, we are going to be in a mountain of debt that I hope we are able to overcome within the decade. But honestly, that doesn't look promising when you do the math on it. Something that he has had the opportunity to do and that I hope to have the opportunity to do is the state, and I say we, the state used to send more money to these. We don't have that many colleges here. We don't have that many public colleges here. There's no reason that a state with an almost $1 billion surplus can't help these schools out and do something to lower tuition. On top of that, we have one of the lowest paid staffs over at MTSU in the nation for the size school that we are. That needs attention in a bad, bad way. So that's something that I would do. That would be a priority day one. And that's where, that's not rural, which I like rural because I live in a rural area, but that's something that needs attention immediately.
Thank you. And then the last